Let's see here. So this was one on there. It didn't get a ton of votes, but we'll just briefly touch on, see if you guys have any thoughts on it. Professor was fired over a debate on the N-word and hip-hop. And he says institution is too woke. So let's see. George Washington University said to human rights professor, George Washington University.
This just that sentence.
What the administration at George Washington University said to human rights professor who led a passionate discussion about the N-word with students, saying the word should be banned from rap music. Professor Michael Stoil, a 72-year-old white man, was fired after students complained about his alleged use of the word. So he actually used the word as well.
Okay, he didn't just say N-word.
Yeah.
He didn't say "gah." Remember that the one when you're talking about
get a pencil?
Yeah. You can't say. You can say, "Give me a pencil, ma." Well, I guess I can't really get into that.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So Stoil told the students about the call and said he used the word to show why it should not be used. Students have since filed 3 racial bias reports against Stoil for comments he made about using the N-word in a September class. While he insists he didn't use it during class and believes it should not be used by anyone, he said that they should be offended when it's used in hip-hop.
See, the problem, one of those problems is that exist in that whole conversation is a lot of white folks are upset that they still can't say it.
Right.
So essentially they want to take it away from everybody. It's like, well, if I can't say it, nobody should be able to say it. I mean, that's the only thing that black people generally have that nobody else is supposed to do. People do it anyway, but I mean, he should have knew better walking himself into that situation. That's just not smart.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
But he is also a 72-year-old white man, so it's not even surprising.
No, it's not, especially the age factor, but still. I mean, he wants to somehow make it to where if I can't say it or if I'm not supposed to say it, then these kids growing up in their situations shouldn't be able to say it either.
Well, I think why a lot of our white friends are so opposed to the word now is because saying it gets them fired, and black person can say it and get $1 million. Because to say it either in jokes on stage or in songs. And so white people see that and they're like, you know what? We just need to get rid of the word. You know, if there's anything, usually there's nothing white people in America could be jealous about black people doing, especially something that they claim that they cannot do. And this is the one thing.
One thing.
It's literally the one thing. It's like literally it's
the
this
N-word
one
is,
thing.
The N-word is our reparations at the end of the day.
It's the one thing that
literally
it shouldn't be. There should be more.
Shouldn't be.
It's the one thing in a wild way that we've been able to monetize.
Right.
That white people cannot monetize, and in fact, not only will you not be able to monetize it, you will be demonetized for using it.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's got to be upsetting for for certain white people who feel like, well, you know what, if we can't do it, then we just got to get rid of it completely.
But that's also why, even like on Twitch a while back, there was controversy over the word. I don't even know if I can say it.
Yeah, don't say it. Yeah.
But so I was eating a cracker the other day. And it was pretty good because it was
a saltine.
Honey. It was honey and peanut butter.
Oh man, that sounds fantastic.
Pretty good. But there was controversy over this one random particular word and they said that it was hate speech towards white people. But there's no. I feel like these type of conversations are like, obviously I feel like you guys would know more than I would, but they got to be super draining because it's like having the same conversation over and over and over again, right?
No, it is, and it's why like. You'll never hear me say it on stage, and you'll never, like when we're recording, you never hear me say it because in my heart, I do know it's wrong. Mm-hmm. It's something we should get away from. You know, it's the same reason I don't cuss around little children because I know it's wrong and I don't want to have to explain to them why I just did this and I do it consistently. Right. You know, but it is what it is. Once again, it's the one thing that black people can monetize that white people will be demonetized for.
Everybody wants to be oppressed, but at the end of the day, that's the new thing too. We're an oppressed culture too, and we went through this too, and blah blah blah. No, you didn't. And it's nowhere near the same.
And plus, when you see the word now, there's a certain segment of our population that has taken woke and turned it into something. Yeah.
It's not even cool to say no more.
Yeah, it's not like woke is being aware of things that are. It's just like that movie is so woke, or there was this woke, and it's a way to really
diminish the original meaning.
Yeah, and diminish what somebody And sometimes I see things where I'm like, that was. I think of it as being corny, when I think it's pandering, but I do not, to say, oh, it's woke because we didn't want the 72-year-old white man to say the N-word in the classroom.
No, it's just not right.
Like even him saying the word woke,
which is what he did.
Lets me know who he's influenced by. It's probably time for him to go.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure.
The new thing I've heard too is every culture or every race has been enslaved.
That's not new.
Yeah.
White people have been saying that for a long time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I just recently heard it, and I heard it from somebody black, and they're one of those Candace Owens type. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, as a white person, like, you don't need to coddle us. We're okay. Like, I just don't understand it. Like, the white people that get super offended by this stuff, all people were enslaved, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about chattel slavery, right?
Yeah.
But in America and probably the European countries as well.
Yeah.
That's
It's
actually
not the same.
recent.
Yeah, it's not.
You know
it's
what I mean?
not. It's not. Don't start bringing up Irish indentured servants
Yeah.
and all this,
I wanna hear
like it always goes somewhere else. I'm like,
I don't want.
we're not doing that today.
But my point, bringing that up, the thing previous was that I feel like even though these conversations, we've even on the show talked about similar stuff a lot. Like I do think that it's a good reminder to people sometimes that to at least talk about this and at least bring it out this way. Like I'm reading right here some of the comments from this guy, and it's like he said he told the outlet my conversation with the vice provost, thank you, addressed this. I feel like that's a private school thing or something. I don't know. I've never heard that word before. Provost?
Yeah, just because I watch too much TV, I've heard it.
Stoil said, describing the conversation he had with George Washington administrator, he told his class about my mother, who is white, was shocked when her best friend, an African-American woman from Detroit, referred to her as a silly N-word 45 years ago. I was explaining my commitment and that of my family to opposition of ethnic slurs, even when this is the case, voiced as a colloquialism. Thank you. By an African-American woman. To my great shock, the vice provost.
Close enough.
Yep. Said that she was physically affected by my use of the word. In response, I told her that I would never use the word again, even in intellectual conversation, which is kind of he's trying to position himself in a way to, I know better now.
Mm-hmm.
And the effects of hate speech, and I have that promise. So anyways, we can move on from
Job
it.
gone.
But yeah.
Yeah, well.
There it
Retirement.
is.
So this is example the number 10,357. White people, just don't say it at your job.
Just don't say it, man.
Don't say it
It's not
anywhere.
hard.
It's
Let
not
it go.
hard.
Not hard to
It's
not
a one
say
word you can't say.
it. Just a word.
And you'll keep your job.
And
Simple as that, man.
you like jobs. You took your gerbs.
Look at your job.
Took your gerbs.